What's up, y'all? We wish you a Merry Christmas as this is our Christmas episode. We are continuing the holiday episodes. Let us know what you think about them in the comments or tweeting at us. We enjoy coming up with these lists, and so our list or our theme, because it's Christmas, is gifts. And gifts every year in the NBA, NHL, NFL, and MLB. But then we're first before we do that is the gift out of any league or any sports event, and which has been your favorite um, gift this year? I'll go first, Austin. It's the Corey Seager signing to the Rangers. That's the best gift because it was very tough putting choosing Simeon or Seager, but I went with Seager probably because that's the most shocked because there were rumors of it happening, and I'm like, there's no way. This is like when um, Tobias Harris met with the Mavs during one year, or like Kawhi meeting with the Mavs. But like the Rangers actually signed Corey Seager, and now we have a premier shortstop who just hit bombs when he was in Arlington for the World Series. So that's my gift. What is your gift?
So my gift this season has really been this playoff battle in the NFL. I love when playoffs are really close, and it has been exceptional watching how close this is. And I really hope it continues to be a treat uh, this entire NFL season. It's been really close between that and then the same thing that happened this year in the MLB with how close it was last game. There was four teams. There was Seattle, Toronto, and obviously Boston and the Yankees. I just love really close playoff matchups, and that was really a treat for me this season, and it still is right now for the NFL.
Yeah, that is a good point. So, speaking of the NFL, let's do our gift every year for the NFL. I'll let you go first.
So my gift every year in the NFL has to be the Super Bowl, and I know this is a little bit going the easy route, but because it's one game, anything can really happen. Now, the other championships aren't going to be on my list for the other three sports, but I feel like the Super Bowl, it's an American pastime. It's one game to decide who is the best team in the NFL, and it just feels different watching the Super Bowl. I don't know if you get that feeling too, but it just feels different than watching the finals or any other uh, championship event. The Super Bowl feels different because it's one game, winner takes all. There is no best out of three, best out of five, best out of seven. It's just one game to see what's going to happen, who's going to set history.
That is a good point. And everything else, like comparing it to the other championships, it's only one game, but also everything else is amplified just because of the significance of the Super Bowl. Like Super Bowl commercials. You don't hear about finals commercials or just the amount of work it goes into for like the Super Bowl commercials, as there have been some very great ones, then also like some really weird ones. And like some people will go, yeah, I just watched the Super Bowl for the Super Bowl commercials. Like they're not a NFL, they don't usually watch the NFL, but they watch the Super Bowl, and that just goes to show the greatness of or the popularity of the NFL because everything else is amplified. The Super Bowl halftime, like who's going to be the Super Bowl halftime this year? Who's going to sing the national anthem? And just all that revolving around the Super Bowl is amplified. So that's a good choice. My annual thing, it's a little bit personal. It's the Thanksgiving. I love football on Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving is like such an incredible holiday, and I just dislike how the disrespect that is given to Thanksgiving. They're like, well, it's not really that big. Like you just have dinner with family and you cut a turkey, and I'm like, you can't really prepare for that. But like people prepare for Halloween for a month, and then they prepare like 4 months for Christmas, even though Christmas is great. But I just love Thanksgiving, and I love specifically seeing the Cowboys on Thanksgiving and just the football games. Specifically, I'm so glad we have Sunday night. Hopefully, the Lions pull it together, and like there are close games, but just great games on Thanksgiving. I just love that part of the NFL, and it's a great gift every year.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. That Thanksgiving is a special time, and also that's also for the NFL. That's another game that feels different is Thanksgiving games because you with your entire family watching football for the only time really you're going to watch a game besides the Super Bowl with your entire family. Now I think next for me on my list was NBA, so I feel like we can move on to there. For the NBA, the entire All Star weekend during a non-COVID year, watching the 3-point competition, the dunk competition, and the All Star game I just love that time of the year. I love watching the dunk competition, even though I don't always agree with who wins, and it is a little bit biased by the judges. And then the 3-point competition. It's the one game that they have that's not decided by anyone besides just can you put the ball in the net better than anyone else. And watching Curry and a lot of other great 3-point shooters, that's my gift every year by the NBA. What about you?
My gift is the NBA trade deadline. It's I was close to putting MLB trade deadline or the All Star game, but I only picked the NBA trade deadline because it's just crazy seeing the amount of Woj bombs. Like one of the biggest ones I remember it was Chris Tapps going to the Mavericks and just everyone freaking out. Even though that has soured a little bit, but just all like how a team can be reshaped through the trade deadline, and you're really surprised with like the team did that to get this guy. They traded him and him for him, but it's just crazy, and I absolutely love that craziness. And it's definitely a thing where you have to have Twitter notifications on, and it's just crazy to see all the amount of like rumors and like all the speculation, and then it still exceeds the NBA. The NBA trade deadline still exceeds all your expectations. So my next one for the NBA is the NHL. So I'll let you go first on that one.
So for the NHL, it was a really tough choice for me, but mine has to be opening night. I love watching opening night hockey games because it just seems it just I miss the hockey season whenever it's off, and then watching all the players get to it just feels like they're hitting harder than they do in the middle of the season because not only is mostly everyone healthy, but they haven't been playing for a couple months, so everyone's just has this riled up sense of energy, and so they're just hitting there's a lot more fights it seems like on opening night. It seems like there's it just every player knows what's the season just started and they're so happy about it that they're just going to go all out for one game.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out like how when do I watch NHL games and like get in the practice of that. But one of the NHL things that I absolutely love is and is a gift every year is the Winter Classic. Dallas Stars were in the Winter Classic a few years ago, and a little bit of my sports regret is not going to that game. Um, and I just didn't like realize like how great it would be. But I definitely got to go to a Winter Classic. And then last year with COVID, they did it on Lake Placid. Am I correct?
Lake
Or
Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe? Okay. And just the image, the mountains in it, and just the ice, and like how you could hear everything was just beautiful, and the way they built that. And it's just crazy seeing the uniforms, like the Stars uniforms for the Winter Classic was amazing. And I just love seeing where does it go because it's pretty shocking that the Winter Classic didn't have any problems when it was in Texas, and how Texas has just sporadic um, weather. So I'm just that's something I really look forward to, and I hopefully it happens this year. Hopefully COVID doesn't get in the way of that. So that's my gift for the NHL. And then now our final one will be the MLB. I'll say it is the home run derby. I just love just seeing like especially this year with cores, how far is the ball going to go, who wins, and then Pete Alonso wins, and just all the players that get involved into it. I didn't say All-Star weekend because the only thing that really stands out to me is the home run derby, and that's something I will definitely watch. I'll sort of watch the All-Star game, but I would definitely choose home run derby over the All-Star game because then I don't have to look at those uniforms.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And while you went with NBA trade deadline and I did NBA All Star weekend, and then you did, we basically flipped. I'm going to go with MLB trade deadline because it just seems like there's more moves. even the small moves could prove massive for everyone involved. And so I just love watching again. You said Woj bombs, but it just all over the world. It seems like everyone's paying note to what's happening now in the MLB trade deadline. As we saw a lot of big trades happening that week, the week of the MLB trade deadline is just a masterful experience for me.
Well, yeah, and then I got one comment, and then I got two comments. You probably also like it because you're thinking of who are the Yankees going to trade for? Like they had a big trade deadline last year.
A little
So,
bit, a little bit.
and then it also proved to be a huge effect, even though the Yankees it sort of worked out, but the Braves that's their NLCS MVP and the World Series MVP came from MLB trade deadline moves. Jorge Soler and Eddie Rosario, and then you have Adam Duvall and Jock Peterson. So all leading up to that week. So just to your point, it was close. I wanted to put MLB trade deadline, but I'm like, I really like the NBA trade deadline. So that concludes our list of gifts. Um, so hope you enjoyed this episode. We wish everyone a Merry Christmas and thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.